Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to this podcast. I'm just so thankful to be here. Before I really get into the podcast episode, I want to talk about an accomplishment that I find so meaningful for myself and for the people who support me. I want to say thank you for 100 subscribers on YouTube. This has been a long journey that I know is going to take time. It's going to take patience. It's going to take authenticity. When we go about these things that we truly feel like move us and make us better people for other people, we have to understand that the best route may take 20 years. It may take 40 years. There's people I've seen on the internet who just you think would just magically have blown up. They just became successful overnight. It took time. You look back at their Instagram or any social media platform, you look back and they've been doing it for a long time. But we trick ourselves and we tell ourselves that the level of success that we know that we can achieve is just supposed to happen instantaneous. Like it's automatic. And it's not. It really isn't. The best things take time. They truly do. One question that has always puzzled me was, why is it so hard to create something, but so easy to destroy it? Because with a lot of things, a majority of things, it's so easy to just destroy it. But to create it, for it to take time, an example is a relationship. Oh, it takes time to build a healthy relationship. It takes time to understand somebody. It takes time to really know how you work, how this other person works. It just takes time. Now, you go do something that's a non-negotiable or something that is hurtful to your partner or anything, that can destroy the relationship. So when I say this and I use that example, I just want you to understand that when you're creating your life, when you're moving towards a purpose, there is something that is moving you on this planet. There is something that is pushing you on the path that you're going. Understand that the best route is authenticity. And I've had to deal with moments when I wanted to do a cheap second fiddle to other people. Oh, they're doing this, so let me try this. And every time I tried to be somebody that I wasn't, every time I tried to just put myself out there in a way to where it wasn't authentic to who I was, it didn't work out. You don't have to force who you are. That's just who you are. And one thing that I can give myself props for is my ability to accept the change of myself, right? We don't want to accept that sometimes we're just different. There's been moments when I would just be living and I would just think about my life right now and I would say, oh my goodness, I've changed. It's like I'm living as another person. The person who I was 2 days ago, I don't even know who that is anymore. And that's not to say that I've forgotten it necessarily, but it doesn't embody who I am right now. I went through something that made me this person right now. And all this just goes back to show you that, yes, I'm happy about 100 subscribers, right? May seem so little, but it is so important to me. It means so much to me that regardless of the pace, the tempo, the speed, I'm still moving. I'm still moving. I'm doing what makes me happy. I'm helping people. I'm trying to make this world a better place. I don't care how long it takes. And this is for the people who are creators. Everybody's a creator, first of all. For the artists, for the people who are using what they've been given and making it into something that is beautiful. One thing that I can tell you right now is when I would sit down and I would be editing these podcast episodes and trying to make them into reels and clips for Instagram or social media, when I was doing that, there's been moments when I was like, oh my goodness, I stuttered a little bit. Oh, that makes me so angry. I stuttered a little bit. The audio was clipping. So many minor things that destroyed my entire motivation, my entire will to keep on creating podcasts, something so minor. And there's been moments when I would just look at other people and their success, and I would see, oh, something happened to their podcast the same way, you know, something like that, or maybe something different. Either way, it's not perfect. So when I talk to the people who are creators, the people who are artists, the people who are using what they've been given and making it into something beautiful, understand that it's not going to be perfect. But the best things in life aren't perfect. They're perfect because they're not perfect. It's because you did it. That day, a large part of wanting everything to be perfect died. I told myself, I don't want to feel this way about creating something that makes me happy. We have to deal with so much on a daily basis, so much as people living. I'm not about to allow myself to defeat myself, to say, hey, I lost the battle before the battle even started. So again, I want to say thank you for 100 subscribers. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. But to get into the podcast episode, welcome back to NTheRealestWay podcast by Marqes Smith, where we talk about so many topics in the realest way. On this podcast episode, I'm going to talk about how you see life. How you see life. But to start this podcast episode off, I want to talk about covering in terms of protection. Now, before I talked about exposing and how we allow a lot of things to be covered, things that need to be talked about, things that need to be brought into the forefront of our lives. We can't keep covering these things. I spoke about my sexual harassment. I spoke about the injustice that we have to deal with in America. In the world, there's so much that is going on that isn't fair. It isn't right. I want to talk about covering now in terms of protection, things that are worth protecting, people, our lives, the very reason that it's our right to deserve to live. That has been given to us. Everybody who's alive, it has been given to us. A blessing that a lot of us take for granted, me included. We take it for granted. How you see life. So in terms of covering, I don't want to get a lot, I hate to say I don't want to get political because everything that we do in life at this point is political. Everything, you know, I mean, every single thing that I can't even breathe the way I feel like I need to breathe without somebody saying the way I breathe is an issue. And I don't want to be so dramatic to say that, but that's the truth. Like from the very living is political. Okay? Buying, consuming, all of it's become a political thing. And maybe it's always been that way. I just haven't seen it. My eyes wasn't open. One of the most frustrating things I had to deal with was allowing myself to believe what I knew and I know is right with myself. Understanding that a lot of the things that I fight for is not for me, but for the rest of humanity. But a lot of people, they don't care. I talk to people on a daily basis because I have to, but the same people I talk to on a daily basis, they don't care about the genocide. They don't care about the people dying. There was one conversation that I had, and this is when I really realized that I just need to be around people who are willing to have a conversation. I talked about it on my podcast episode before this one, and it was with Jaeger, and I was talking about the willingness to understand each other, how you see life. There's no matter where you go, no matter how you live, you're going to see life differently. That is fine. I wouldn't want to live in a world where everybody was the same. What kind of world are we living in if everybody is the same? The issue lies is when people, they want you to believe what they believe. You got to believe what I believe. You got to walk this way if I walk this way. Because if you walk any other way, there might be something wrong with you. There might be an issue. And that's just an example, but when it gets down to the humanity, to people deserving to live, there shouldn't be a conversation. There should be action. There should be accountability. Accountability with everybody. And it starts with us, with ourselves, asking ourselves, because the real battle starts with us, realizing that we are the first step to the change that we want to see. You got to confront yourself first. How are you going to sit here and constantly tell somebody else, this is what's wrong with the world, and this is what you're doing that is harming the world, but you're not looking at yourself. You're not asking yourself, what am I doing? I've had to step back numerous times recently. Hey, what you're doing right now, it's not right. It's not fair for everybody else. I was going to do a whole rant, but then I realized not to act on emotion. There was this one saying that I heard from a celebrity on the internet. They posted it or something, and they said, whenever you're happy, don't post. When you're sad, don't post. When you're angry, don't post. And it's not to say that you won't be in those emotions when you're posting, but to have a clear mind. Because there have been moments when I was just happy, and I'm saying yes to something I didn't even really want to say yes to. There's been times when I was sad, and I would say the wrong thing. I would, first of all, your business ain't everybody's business, okay? That's another point of saying to just really be conscious of what you're doing in the moment. Your intention. One thing I do is I'll say something and I really don't like to forget what I said, so I'll say what I need to say. But then when I want to go back to what I said, I done forgot that. I don't like that. Lord. Okay. I'm just going to start with another part of what I was saying. Hopefully it connects, and maybe it was what I was going to say before. How you see life, okay? We all see it differently. We all see it differently. The level and the state of mind that everybody is in right now, it's so crazy. I'm in South Korea right now, and I could never be any more close to the States, to America. I'm basically there right now, like same people, just in South Korea, if that makes sense. I'm on a base with the same people that I would be or similar to in America. The diversity, just the differences that we have, I love it. I'm so happy for the fact that we are willing to be different. We are willing to be this version of yourself. Covering, protection. I know what I was going to say. I don't know if that was exactly what I was going to say, but let me say it before I forget, because it's like I'm losing it already. Okay? I done lost it. I done lost the mojo. I done lost the flow. It is really hot in this room, okay? It is really hot. I got the light on, all this stuff. Was it about emotion? I feel like it was about emotion. I feel like it was about emotion. I was talking about not allowing emotion to control you. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Oh, okay. I done got it back. Hello? Yes. I done got it back. Okay. Whew. Let's get back into it. Okay. Don't lose it again, Smith. When we talk about emotion, I made not a podcast. I made a video, a story video, and I was gonna post it. I was so angry because I was just seeing a lot of people on social media talking about this and that, and we have the issues about just a celebrity or somebody with social media influence. Yes, holding them accountable is 100%, but not allowing them to be accountable. We would rather destroy a person than allow them to have accountability. Because this is so crazy to me. That it's crazy to me that we have to sit here and have a conversation about how there's things that you do in your daily life that if a celebrity did it or a social media influencer did it, it's over. It's game over. Let's cancel them, right? Cancel culture. We talk so much about taking that we're never giving. We're never giving grace. We're never giving grace and patience and understanding. Every day I have to check myself. Check myself. You taking more than you giving, Smith. What are you giving? It's not about you. It's not about how you feel all the time. Yes, how you feel is important. You should love yourself. You should care for yourself. That is a given 100%. But at the end of the day, you don't live with just yourself. This is our planet, our world. We all live here. Some things you can't have your way. Okay? Who is the people? Burger King? McDonald's? Oh, McDonald's, I'm loving it. Either way, you can't have it your way all the time. Sometimes you got to say, hey, I got to suffer a little bit so that other people can have the benefits that I have. I can't buy from some places no more because they're contributing to genocide. That's just me, okay? I'm not about to do it. I don't want to be there. I don't want to look at it. I don't care. That's my opinion. That's what I do. That's my business. Okay? Understand that though. You're taking more than you're giving. What are you giving? Write it down. It's so important. It's not just about you. The level of the level of sadness that I feel right now, I can't even fathom. Just the level that the people who are actually going through it feel. Right now it seems unbearable for me. And I'm not even there. There's days and I can't even get up sometimes. I have to force myself to get up. You look on the internet and you just see so many people suffering. Imagine if you were in that position. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not right. We take so much. It's always about me. Me, 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 me. What about them? What about us? I get in my ego sometimes. There's days when it's like it's all about me. This is my life, this is my world, but it's not. It's not just your world. And everybody has something to say, even me. But at what point are we going to stop and actually implement and make the change? There's nothing happening because the talk is cheap. All we doing is talking. All we're doing is talking. If somebody was to ask me how I would want to see life, I could care less about what you believe. Believe in what you want to believe. If it makes you happy, power to you. But what I truly want is for everybody to just have peace. The decision to have peace, though. When I think about a life of struggle, because everybody, we need struggle in order to grow. I think about your car not starting in the morning because you're late. You're late for work now. I think about a bad hair day. I think about a difficult time in a relationship. What I don't want to think about is people suffering and dying, being murdered, being killed. When I think about suffering, I think about things that move you to a better person what may break you down but build you up. I think about people. I think about people not having to worry about if tomorrow they get to live. That's what I want. If you stress about tomorrow, let it be over some homework, okay? Let it be over a test that you didn't study for. How you see life. There was this thing a while ago where I had to realize that a lot of people, they were dealing with cognitive dissonance, which means they believed this entire thing for most of their life. Their entire life is built upon that no matter what you say, no matter what you do, they will never change how they feel. They will never change how they feel. You could literally prove, factual information, undeniable truth, and they would never change. How do you see life? And are you willing to say that? Because at the end of the day, if somebody was to correct me and say, Smith, what you talked about on that podcast episode, let's really talk about it. Okay, let's sit down, let's talk about it. Let's have an understanding. Are you willing to say how I used to think about life or how I'm thinking about life right now isn't right and that I have the ability to change? There's things I said on the podcast episode, the last podcast episode, the first podcast episode, where I used to say these things, believe these things, and I don't believe them anymore because I've allowed myself to change and I've allowed myself to grow. If anybody, if anybody's listening to this podcast, just do me one favor. In this little favor that I'm about to ask could set shock waves. It could change the world. You could change the world. Give grace. Give grace. That's all people need sometimes. It's some grace, some understanding, being willing to understand people. You don't know. You don't know people like you think you know people. And the version that you're seeing is only a version that they're showing. It's not all it's not all of who they are. Please, Give grace. Continue to find a way to heal this world. You know, when I was in high school and I was getting ready to leave high school and go on to another part of my life, another journey of self-development and growth, I told myself I didn't want to be around these people anymore. I didn't want to have their mindset contaminate me. So God gave me what I asked for. God changed my environment and sent me on a journey that I will never forget. And now I'm here now. This is me after that journey. And after I leave South Korea, I'll have another journey. And I hope that I take compassion and grace with me. I hope that I take forgiveness with me. I love each and every one of you. I don't care if I don't know you. You matter. You matter so much. Take yourself with you every day. The version of who you are right now, it needs love. No matter how angry you may be right now, no matter what you do to yourself and to others, understand that you need grace too. And to hold yourself accountable. We are the future. We are the present. We make the decisions that impact our lives forever and other people's lives forever. Don't be a reason why we look back at humanity with distaste because we couldn't do everything that we know that we could do. It doesn't have to be as big as you think it has to be. It could be something minor. These minor changes with individual people can change everything if everyone is doing it in their own way. You matter. Before I close this podcast off, I want to say that I'm creating a short film called The Energy Price. Excuse me. The Energy Price is about the negative toll that content creation has on people. That we go through life and we want to just make it. And it's been a roller coaster for me to create this film. I set it off and I stopped editing it and I gave up on it a little bit, but then I remembered what I was doing it for myself and for a part of me a while ago who was mentally frustrated and depressed and just going through a lot of emotions at the time. That version of me could be somebody right now who could need that film. So stay tuned. It's going to be out. I'm talking about stay tuned. Go check out the film because it's coming out this week. This podcast doesn't come out later this week. This film is coming out in the middle of the week that this podcast is dropping. Okay? So please, it would mean so much to me if you took time to go over there and watch my short film, Energy Price. I did all of it myself. Okay? Directed, written, produced. Okay? I did everything. um, yeah, it would mean so much to me. Like I say at the end of every podcast episode, I give thanks to the utmost, to the highest power God. I'm thankful for my friends and my family. I am truly, truly grateful. This is the Real Estate Podcast, out.